One sunny morning, light streamed through the large glass windows of a high-end car dealership located in the heart of the city. The space was modern, sleek, and filled with luxury cars in every imaginable shape, color, and size. Each vehicle was displayed under bright lights, their polished exteriors reflecting the glow of the overhead chandeliers. The staff, dressed in immaculate uniforms, stood at the ready, eagerly greeting well-dressed customers who arrived in stylish cars, rolling out of their expensive vehicles with all the air of sophistication. Among these customers was an elderly man, easily in his 70s. He was dressed in a faded shirt and worn pants, with his feet in old rubber flip-flops. His gait was slow but steady as he made his way into the showroom. Unlike the other customers, he wasn't drawn to the cars with the latest technology or sleek designs. His eyes instead fixed on the vehicles themselves, as if they held stories he wanted to hear. The contrast between the opulent environment and the man's modest appearance didn't go unnoticed by the employees. They exchanged glances as he wandered, seemingly out of place among the sparkling cars. The elderly man stopped in front of a sleek black SUV, and after examining it for a moment, he turned to one of the young salesmen nearby. "Excuse me," he asked, his voice calm but full of curiosity. "How much is this car?" The salesman, dressed sharply, looked the old man up and down, his eyes lingering on the man's simple attire and worn-out footwear. He suppressed a chuckle, but couldn't resist the urge to respond in a condescending tone. "This car is quite expensive, sir. It's over $5 million. Do you think you have enough to buy it?" he asked, clearly amused by the man's appearance. But the elderly man didn't flinch. Instead, he met the salesman's gaze with quiet resolve. "I truly want to buy it," he said. "Could you provide me with more details about the car?" His calm, steady tone had a surprising weight to it. The salesman was taken aback for a moment, but his natural instinct was to dismiss the man. He smiled mockingly and looked at his colleague, who had been standing nearby. "This guy's probably just here to look around. A car like this isn't for everyone, especially not for someone like him," he whispered loud enough for the old man to hear. His colleague snickered, adding, "I bet he's just killing time. Maybe he doesn't even have enough money for the car's rearview mirror, let alone the whole thing." The elderly man ignored their mockery. He simply repeated, "Please, get me the details. I didn't come here to joke around." Despite his polite persistence, the sales staff continued to ignore him. Undeterred, the old man walked toward the receptionist, a young woman who was busy typing away at her computer. When she briefly glanced up, "Her eye you need now?" she asked, clearly irritated. "I'll handle it myself," the old man replied calmly, taking out his phone. He dialed a number with steady fingers and brought the phone to his ear, speaking in a calm but firm voice. "Hello, I'm at the dealership. Come down to meet me." The sales team exchanged confused glances. One of them whispered, "Who is he calling? Does he really expect someone to come for him?" Another employee laughed and said, "He's probably just faking it, trying to make himself seem important. Look at how he's dressed." A few minutes later, a sleek luxury car drove up to the dealership. It was a rare model, gleaming under the sunlight, and its presence immediately caught the attention of everyone in the showroom. The car was an extravagant symbol of wealth and sophistication. The car's door opened, and out stepped a tall, well-dressed man in a sharp black suit. He walked in with the kind of confidence that only comes from having earned the respect of others. As soon as he saw the old man, he strode over quickly, his eyes full of recognition. "Dad, what are you doing here? You should have called me so I could meet you downstairs," the young man said, bowing his head respectfully to the elderly man. The entire atmosphere in the showroom changed instantly. The laughter and mocking that had filled the room earlier evaporated, replaced by shocked silence. The employees froze, their eyes wide, as the young man, who had clearly been the owner of the dealership, revealed that the old man was his father. The young man then turned to face the stunned staff. "Who served my father? Who was standing closest to him?" he demanded, his voice firm with authority. The receptionist, her face now pale, stammered, I didn't know. I thought." Without letting her finish, the young man cut her off. "So you assumed that because of his appearance he wasn't worth your time?" he asked, his eyes cold with disbelief. The elderly man sat quietly, watching the unfolding scene with calmness. His voice was measured as he said to his son, "I didn't come here to buy a car today. I came to see how you and your staff treat your customers. You see, respect is a value we should uphold at all times, whether we're serving the richest or the most modest person." The employees, who had been so quick to judge the old man, now stood in stunned silence. Their previous arrogance had transformed into discomfort, and the young man, with an unwavering gaze, addressed the staff. "Anyone who disrespected my father will face consequences. I'll be writing disciplinary reports for those of you who mocked him, and some of you will be suspended effective immediately. Consider this your lesson." One of the young salespeople, who had been particularly dismissive earlier, approached cautiously. His voice trembled as he apologized. "I'm sorry. We had no idea he was your father. Please forgive us." The old man looked at him with a calm expression. "It doesn't matter if you knew who I was," he said, his voice calm but carrying the weight of experience. "What matters is how you treat every customer, no matter what they wear or how much they have in their bank accounts. Respect is earned, not assumed." The young man then turned to the rest of the staff. "You all need to understand that this isn't just about money. This is about respect. If you can't offer that, then you don't belong here." He paused, making sure his words sank in before continuing. "I'll be calling for an immediate training session for all of you. There's no place in this business for disrespect." As the old man and his son prepared to leave the dealership, the atmosphere had shifted dramatically. The employees, now aware of the gravity of the situation, stood quietly with their heads bowed. Some of them were even wiping away tears, understanding the mistake they had made. A few customers, who had been quietly observing the exchange, nodded approvingly. The old man, though, wasn't finished yet. He turned to the staff one last time. "The way you treat people, no matter their social status, is what will define your reputation. Business is about more than just selling products. It's about creating relationships based on trust and respect." His words rang out clearly, leaving an impression on everyone present. As the story of the old man's visit spread throughout the neighborhood, people were taken aback by the humility and wisdom he had shown, and by the way he handled the situation with such dignity. The employees, for their part, vowed never to make the same mistake again. They had learned, perhaps the hard way, that respect isn't just about appearances, it's about how you treat others, no matter who they are.